what's happening in the future. And you'll hear from my colleagues, and I'll finish. And then any comments, questions from you guys. Then we'll go into the bar. We'll have a tasting of goat. And then for those who are staying for dinner, we'll come back after they set up the place. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Is this on? I don't know. No? Got to turn it on. I tried. Okay, are we on now? Yep. Okay. So before we get into looking at next steps and where we take it from here, I just wanted to spend a couple minutes just kind of recapping where we've gotten to over the course of this project. So we've been doing this for about 3 years now. Our project that we have all been working on wraps up at the end of December. And so it's helpful to see where we've come from, what we've all of us have actually done together, and some of the accomplishments that I feel like we've achieved. So I'm going to start off. We started off in early 2021, I guess it was, and didn't really know what this project was going to be. We had some general notions about building out relationships, seeing where there might be opportunities for increasing or creating supply chains. And so our first task was to go out into the field and actually meet all of you. So we started out going up to Siskiyou County. We got over to the north coast at Humboldt. We went to Sierra Foothills down in Amador County, got over to North Bay, further south in the foothills in Tuolumne County, over to the East Bay, and then more local one here with the Yolo, Solano, and Sacramento County folks. And I have to say that for me personally, I think the highlight of this project has just been getting out in the field and getting to meet all of these great producers, processors out where they're doing all this work in this really diverse landscape of California, and just seeing all this really interesting, really great stuff that's going on producer by producer to help really rebuild the food system, the landscape. So that's been very rewarding for me. And so that was the first part of really kind of trying to establish some of these relationships. And then we've had 3 now of these gatherings, which have been really exciting and fun to be able to do. So about a year and a half ago, we were gathered here and heard about some of the opportunities that we were looking at and starting to build out these relationships. And then earlier this year, we had a fun butcher, chef kind of focused gathering in Marin County in Novato. And it was really great there. One of the activities we did was speed dating. And there was really a palpable energy in the room, just watching everyone get to know other people, what they were working on, where there might be points of interest that come together. And now, we have this third one where we're all together again, and really, at least from my mind, feeling more of these built relationships. And importantly, we got to hear today about the University of California system, and really thinking that we're pushing forward what we're all trying to do and reaching really literally hundreds of thousands of new people that will be experiencing the meat that's being produced, and really expanding the knowledge of what's happening out there by a big order of magnitude. So I'm really excited about that. We launched into along, I don't know if Steve Schwartz is floating around here, there he is, in this different direction of looking at some of these more specialty markets, the halal market specifically, and really finding some opportunities there, and a much more diverse, different sort of food system. So we're excited to think about where some of those opportunities might lead. And then looking over with IC Foods, we have this, the start of the website, really pulling together a lot of this information that we've been collecting over the course of almost 3 years. We'll be working on that more, but hopefully that can serve as really an information portal that will help all of us push together the opportunities that we're seeing. So I'm just going to wrap up before I hand it over to looking at the future and just saying thank you everyone for working with us over the last 3 years. I really think that we're building something interesting and valuable here. So thank you for your time and your patience with us and getting to where we are now. So what does the future look like?
Just asking Michael if you had any additions to that before we flip to the next page.
Yeah, I did want to say a couple things. One was the experience of working with the university. The weird thing about a project like this, in the beginning of the day I said trying to get how difficult it is to get out of silos, but once you do, amazing things can happen. So this is the weird thing that happened. I happen to have a coach because I have to learn how to be a better manager. So anyway, I had this coach, and I was telling her about the work we were doing. And she said, "Oh, I had dinner with the president of the university last night." I said, "Oh, yeah?" And she said, "I'm going to tell him about your project." So she wrote an email to Michael Drake, the president of the university, and introduced me. And I wrote him right away, like within 2 minutes, following up. "Oh, yeah, we really want to," kind of drooling to, wow, we finally, because I was having a hard time getting to anyone at the university. And he introduced me to Paul Williams in like 20 minutes. And that really began the conversation. And Marilyn came in. Paul was great. Agnes and her team were involved in these early conversations. And that allowed that to happen. Completely unpredictable. But it was about the fact that we had some intention, we were sharing in certain ways, and we were getting out of our silos, and it developed. And so it was timing, because the last president of the university set a certain direction, then Michael Drake made a commitment to go to a certain direction. So and then there were producers out there who we'd been meeting who wanted to do things, and so it happened. That's the magic of intention. The magic of intention. So I think that, for me, was the most exciting thing, that we were able to do that. But I also want to mention what you mentioned about that event we had, where we had chefs, processors, producers all talking to each other. And we also did that meat tasting where we compared previously frozen grass-finished and fresh grass-finished, and previously frozen won the taste test. Remember that? That was so interesting, because it got rid of this fallacy that only fresh meat is best. That was a really important thing. We got the data on that, and that's really important for grass-finished folks because it's easier to kill a certain time of year. So that was a really important thing for the chefs to see, and there were a lot of chefs in the room. So that was cool. Anyway, that's enough.
Yeah, I think the frozen won out of 4 out of 5 points. And then the one it didn't win on was smell. Everything else it won on. And I'll even just add on to the just how timing matters too, because we started this project right in the middle of COVID, when, as you all know, like, the processes were booked out, people were doing direct marketing, but they had these piles of low value cuts that they didn't know where to go with. And that's how that kind of marriage with the university idea even came up. And so it was timing, because if it started now, nobody would care about that today, even though it's this burgeoning thing that's going to go somewhere. So yeah, timing matters, and all these relationships at the right time matter. So yeah, again, thank you all for this great ride, and I'll even add again to the speed dating. Everyone loved that, because there were people meeting each other that never get to meet each other, and it was hopefully a lot of new relationships and new business relationships emerged from that. So curious to go back to that group and see who is now purchasing from each other and working together, and that'll be good to know. So looking at next steps, I'll just pop up. These are the same bullets that we actually had in the agenda, but want to look at them again. So as we mentioned, the kind of that information resource that we've been working on, continuing to grow that and build that out and make that a really useful tool for everyone here to continue finding new partners and growing these relationships is super important for us. So we'll be working on that as we go forward. Just as a group and as a community, to be able to grow and stabilize kind of the supply chain for the growing University of California procurement system in this regenerative space is something that we're all going to want to work on and into the future. And lots of steps to make, but a great foundation that we're starting from. again, the kind of some of the new opportunities that we were talking about today, there's going to be more emerging opportunities coming up, but the ones that we highlighted are, clearly ones that can get a lot of momentum. Like the grazing is huge in California, so I mean, there's so much opportunity to grow the grazing and for the fire prevention, and as Sarah was saying, there's a lot of funding for that coming in, and so being able to tap into that, and again, our portal will start kind of lining out what those opportunities are so people can find them, and also the halal and some of the other opportunities. We just look forward to engaging with folks on those different pieces, or at the very least making sure that we're kind of pulling the information so people can find it. And then, well, unfortunately, the first pass we didn't succeed, but we really want to grow this work through the whole state. So we started in Northern California. Our intention is to expand it statewide, and we'll be looking for ways to do that in the near future. So.
Yeah, let me just add on the this whole idea of other opportunities. My hope is that, I mean, one of the things that we've been talking about is the existing brands that are solid in the market. As was mentioned by Lauren, a lot of brands in the 3 years we've been here gone down. They died after the first year. So we have Regenerative, Richard's Regenerative, we have Stemple, there's a few others that are out there, some smaller ones that are growing. YOLO Land and Cattle is out there. There just aren't that many anymore. And so my hope is that people will talk to each other and that we can help these brands continue to grow, as Lauren was saying. And that's really was the intention of the idea of getting everybody to meet at that last event. I guess the other thing that's really on my mind is how do we continue going south? Because Ojai's here today. San Luis Obispo's here today, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So they came all the way up because they heard about what was going on, right? You heard about what was going on. You just asked me, what can we do down in Southern California in Ojai? We're going to have a meeting because they have an opportunity to open a plant down there in Ojai. That's exciting. So we're going to work really hard to figure out how to fund the expansion of this and keep it alive because there's a lot more that needs to be done. As they said, there's a lot of opportunity, but we need supply. We need supply. And hopefully cattle prices, I know you don't want to hear this, but hopefully cattle prices will go down a little bit so that it'll make it easier for these guys to buy cattle here and grow their brands. I don't have that much more to say, except for that it was really fun to work with you all. And I have a lot of hope. Even with what's going on with the weather extremes, we're supposed to get 10 inches of rain in Mendocino County and Sonoma County the next couple of days. I can't even go. I was supposed to go up to Mendocino County, and they called this morning and said, you can't come up. The roads are going to wash out. We're almost sure of it. I mean, that's how intense it's going to be. So, it's a bummer. But you have some really good people in here. Community Alliance for Family Farmers is doing great work. They're a huge partner. We've partnered with them for years. CCOF was in the first year before we actually launched this. I want to just call out CCOF because they did a series of calls with us and helped us interview the white paper. How many people actually ever saw the white paper that started this project? That was a long time ago. That was 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago now that we started that work, and CCOF was instrumental in helping us to pull together those great meetings, and that was really wonderful. CDFA, their whole meat team came and was part of our early meetings. We met with them. So this could not have happened without collaboration. Collaboration, that is the key. So with that, let's have more of it. We invite you to go into the bar. Don't drink too much so you can't drive home, but have fun. All right, thank you.